So what a week it's been on the trail for Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners as they just got their third edition since Sunday, this time four-star edge slash athlete CJ Nickson out the state of Oklahoma commits to the Sooners. Today, we need to talk about why this is such an intriguing addition, why Oklahoma fans need to be excited, and everything in between. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Nixon joins the Sooners class? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as I alluded to in the intro, CJ Nickson is an edge, but he is also an athlete. When you look at the versatility this guy brings to the table, it's actually incredible. This is a guy that plays wide receiver. He plays edge. He's played some linebacker. He has covered guys. He's done it all, quite frankly, at the high school level and done it all at an elite level. So if you look at the 24/7 Sports Composite, they have him listed as edge. If you look at On3, they have him listed as an athlete, and I completely understand why. Now, Miguel Chavez was the lead recruiter here, and remember, not long ago, whenever he was hired, Chavez that is, I made a video talking about how, hey, this is a name you might not be all too familiar with yet, but get familiar with him. He is going to be a fantastic hire for the Oklahoma Sooners, and it didn't take a lot for me to figure that out. I just kind of looked at where he had been, who he had learned under, and the ability he had to build relationships, because in recruiting, that's king. I know we're in the NIL era, but at the same time, building relationships is still first and foremost whenever you're trying to win a recruiting battle, and Chavez has been able to do that time and time again. So this is a massive win for the Oklahoma Sooners. When we look at the 24/7 Sports Composite, CJ Nickson comes in as the number 138 player in the nation, regardless of position, the number 13 edge, and a top 5 player in the state of Oklahoma. But like I just talked about, when you bring all the versatility to the table, this is an exciting prospect, because he's been able to do so many things on the football field at a high level that's only going to help his understanding of what it takes to be successful. And especially when we talk about the jump from high school football to college football, may as well be a different sport. I say that all the time because it is absolutely true. So this is a win that I think Sooner fans need to be very excited about, because in my opinion, he fits this Brent Venables defense perfectly. With those edge rushers, you want them to be athletic. You want them to be able to work against tackles. You want them to be very quick in their first step, very aggressive in their first step, and to be able to chase down guys. And he can do all of those things. This is a guy that I think is going to get to Oklahoma, get in that strength and conditioning room with Schmitty, and really take off. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how his career ends up going, because I think they just got an absolute dude. And this is on a week where they have continued to stack recruiting wins, so it must be a lot of fun being an Oklahoma fan right now. I can imagine they're all very, very excited, as you should be. But what does this mean for the class of 2025 for Oklahoma? Well, this gives you 18 commits in the class and puts you in the top 5 per the 24/7 Sports rankings at number 5. And one of the things I talk about a lot is you have 18 commits, which means your class is largely in a great place, and August isn't even here. Whenever we talk about recruiting, I always liken it to building a house, right? You have your foundation, you have your frame, all of the things it takes to get a house from nothing to a home. Well, if you can enter the season with a foundation, with the frame up, with some of the walls up, and now you're just into the fine details of the home, that's a great place to be. It allows you to focus on the football season and really be recruiting with a fine-tooth comb. That, to me, is a perfect recipe, especially for Brent Venables, who is now going into his first season within the SEC. So we know that Brent Venables is an elite recruiter. Ever since he's gotten to Oklahoma, it's been top 10 class after top 10 class after top 10 class, and then you look at what he does in the transfer portal, he backs it up there as well. Top 10 class after top 10 class. He is great at finding talent and getting them a part of their recruiting classes. But whenever you have a major change, like changing conferences, the more you can focus on the big picture, which is going to be the season, and be able to recruit with a fine-tooth comb because your foundation's there. Your frame is there. The walls are up, the roof is up, and now you're just focusing on these fine details of your recruiting class. That's a beautiful place to be. I have no doubt Oklahoma is going to continue doing work in the month of July, because when you look, they have placed themselves in striking distance for several top prospects, several on the offensive line, and it is going to be a lot of fun to see what they're able to get accomplished as July rolls around and into August before the season gets started. Now, make no mistake, I'm not saying it's impossible to recruit once the season gets here. Far from that. We've seen time and time again, coaches have been successful in doing that, including Brent Venables. My contention is very simple. The more you can have your recruiting class in a fantastic position when the football season gets here, to where you're only focused in on a few guys and you're recruiting the guys that you already have on roster, that's a beautiful place to be. That is an absolutely beautiful place to be. Now, don't get me wrong, needs will arise once the season starts. You will have a better understanding once the actual bullets get to flying of, okay, we could add a little bit more depth here. This is panning out better than we anticipated, better than it looked in spring practice, better than it looked in fall camp. Now that we're in live action, maybe this room right here, it's in a lot better shape than we had previously thought. We're going to be A-okay, so now we can focus a few more resources here. That's why I love whenever your recruiting class is in a phenomenal shape when the season gets here, because now you can focus on the finer details of the class. And I think that's an amazing place to be. But there is no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big win for the Oklahoma Sooners. When you look at the athletic versatility that Nixon brings to the table, you've got to be excited. The fact that he's played all these different positions. But when we really talk about what he brings to the table as an edge, is it an explosive first step. It is a violent first step, and he has got the range in terms of being able to chase down guys if the play is going the opposite direction to be effective at the college level. This is going to be a guy that's going to be tough to keep off the field once he gets acclimated to the college game, once he gets acclimated to a college strength and conditioning room, once he gets acclimated to the defense, he's going to be real tough to keep off the field. And this is a position I think Oklahoma fans are really excited about, and they're very excited about Chavez as he continues to prove why I believed all those years ago he was an asset for Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners, and he continues to prove that. But I gotta hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this edition. That's it. See ya.